hello everyone. I would also like to welcome you to our webinar. Today we will talk about Field Extender Enterprise that helps you to define any type of optional fields to any Sage 300 transaction, attach documents and images, add rich text, and print attached images and rich text on Crystal reports. With Field Extender, you can attach documents not only to any Sage 300 screen, but also to third-party SDK applications. It has many types of, supports many types of fields, but today we will talk mostly about electronic attachments and large formatted text fields, which we are calling rich text. Another feature of Field Extender is that it allows to have multiple records for the same item. For example, you can have different sets of optional fields for the same inventory control item. Field Extender also supports hyperlink, and it has a tool which allows you to look up transactions with a particular Field Extender value. Let's now go to Sage 300 and see Field Extender live. I have already set up this company, and I have set up Field Extender for IC items. So now when I open inventory control IC items, it shows you the item screen as well as a pop-up next to it. This is a full pop-up which is added by Field Extender, and these are the fields I have defined for this company for IC items. Let's go to an existing item with existing optional fields. Now you can see here that, for example, for this item, I have added an image and I have added a rich text where there is a formatted text for an item. I would like to also say that what you see here are just captions in this sample company. The captions here are the names of the fields, how many fields you want to have, and all of this are per your company requirements, and they can be done during the Field Extender setup. Now that for different items, for example, I have defined different optional fields, and these optional fields, images and rich text also can be printed on Crystal reports. We have a customized forms, which I like to show you. We have customized the standard invoice form, Sage 300 invoice form, to print images and rich text. Now I will print two invoices. First of them has items which don't have any attachments to them, and the second invoice form has items which have attachments. Okay, so you can see that the first one is just our standard Sage 300 invoice form, whereas the second one is the again the same form. It just has attachments, so it is also printing the images and the rich text in the Crystal report form. Now I would like to show you when you are entering new attachments, for example. So I have here an item which doesn't have any Field Extender fields defined. So for this item, I'm just gonna go ahead and add new picture. For example, this I will just drag and drop here, and I will enter a rich text. So this is a description for the item. Highlight it and change the size, change the color, and save it. Now what I would like to show you is that this information can flow to order entry. First, let me open the order entry screen. Again, I have configured order entry to work with Field Extender. And because order entry allows you to enter optional fields, Field Extender allows you to enter optional fields for order entry both on the header level, on the order level, and on detail level for each item. Now I have two tabs here. One shows the optional fields for the header, and the other one shows optional fields for the detail. Let me just create one order here. Okay, now you can see that as soon as I selected the item, the optional field appeared here from the item automatically. And I can modify here or save as, make the changes I want, and post this order. And I would also like to mention that if you have set up field extender, you can set up field extender in a way that these optional fields flow from item to order, like you saw, and from order to shipment, from shipment to invoice. Let me also show you one more thing. As I said in the beginning, we have you can inquire on field extender optional fields. Wait, sorry, wrong screen. So here you can see, let's say we work with items, so let's go to IC items. And we can say by which optional fields we want to populate. For example, we want to see only the ones which have attachments or only the ones where date is equal to a particular field. In my case, I want all items, so I'll just click the Go button. It shows me all items for which there are any field extender optional fields defined. It shows the attachments. If there are attachments, I can even view them here as well from the inquiry screen. Okay. Well, okay. And I can see other information with other optional fields entered here. So this is the inquiry screen. Now I would like to talk a little bit about setup. Now this is not a training session, it's just a webinar where we would like to introduce a field extender. But what I want to talk about here is that you can set up a field extender in two ways. One is manually, where you will have to define that screen configurations, optional tables, fields, sets, assign fields. Or the other option is automatic. So if you want a field extender to be set up with all default settings, and then you can fine tune them. Let me just show how straightforward it is. First, this is the screen configuration, and Field Extender Enterprise is coming with a set of pre-configured screens. One of these screens is banks. So when I select the bank screen here, all I have to do is to make it from inactive to active. And then here, there is something called default setup. If I switch this from no to yes and click save, now the pop-up will be added to my bank screen and set of optional fields will be created for this particular bank. Not that particular bank, for this particular screen. So it's basically becomes much faster to set up field extender. Another thing which I would like to talk about from the setup is actually field extender supports multiple types of fields. And one of them is electronic attachment, like we talked about. With electronic attachments, you can use, when you're using electronic attachment as a field type, your attachments are saved in Sage 300 SQL database. And the report you saw is actually printing that from SQL database, but this is not saved as a picture. It's saved in a binary form, so you will have to follow instructions in the user guide to create the report. With electronic attachment, of course, it's good that it saved everything in the database. So when you're doing the backups, for example, all your attachments are being backed up. But on the other hand, because electronic attachments are saved in the database, your database will grow larger, much faster. Another option of doing the document management using Field Extender is saving this attachment as hyperlinks. I mean, not to save the attachment as hyperlink, but to save the attachment wherever you want, somewhere on the server, and then create a hyperlink and save the hyperlink in Sage 300. And Field Extender supports hyperlink, so when you click on the hyperlink, it will automatically open the attachment for you. Now, a little bit about the licensing of Field Extender. Now, what I was showing you here, you see the Field Extender Enterprise. The Field Extender Enterprise allows you to use all pre-configured screens and also allows you to configure your screens. Remember in the beginning I said that you can have your own screens like of other Sage 300 transactions which are not coming, or for example some third-party SDK products. But in case you don't want this, you can also go ahead with one Field Extender screen. So we have an option of single screen. In that case, let's say you want only for IC items, attachments. So you can come here and select IC items and get a request activation code for IC items and use only that particular screen. So now I would like also to inform you that pre-configured screens of Field Extender support web screens. Okay, sign me out. Let's log in here to see how this is done on the web screens. So if I go again to the inventory control items, now here there is a button which is called attachment button. And when I click this attachments button, you can see that all optional fields entered for this item are visible here, and you can modify them or add new optional fields and new records for this particular item.